on these chairs. We got quite a bit of this old upholstery that comes off, and just kind of want to show you what I'm going to do here. Is these are hog rings that hold all this stuff together. And a hog ring is put on with a hog ring plier, and it just basically clamps through there, and it clamps it around to the metal structure of these chairs. So all these hog rings are going to have to be cut off, pried out. It's pretty easy to do if you really don't care, you know, kind of how much damage you do. Probably the easiest way to do it is just to get a grinder out, get your eyeglasses on, and just zip through them. So I'm going to do that next. There's also a couple of little pieces right here on the end of these. They help to hold the cushion on. And you have to get those off on both seats. And keep that panel, because you'll need it. These seats actually are in better shape than the seats that I had in the other car. All of this was shot on the other one. This is nice to have because you know exactly what the distance is there for the thickness of the back of that seat. So all I gotta do is get this back panel off here, and these are gonna come right apart. And I will keep these screws and just put this panel right back on as soon as it comes off, because you're only going to need this panel when it comes time to reupholster. So pop that off. Save your screws, and just as soon as you get it cleaned up, you put it right back on. Got a couple of hog rings here still to put in. And this is the dirty part. It's not the part they feature on TV most of the time. I'm sure those guys have to do this part too. But there's two pieces of the seat. Your front seat taken apart. I'll put this piece back on the back, and I'll just continue to go. As you can see, I've got quite a bit more left to do. All right, that's the back seat bottom. That's stripped down. Had a little fire, no big deal. Able to save a couple of the original seat covers. I'm hoping to make a template out of those, or a pattern when I go to sew the seat covers. I think I can disassemble those. They're pretty brittle. Take those apart. And that's the rear seat back. It's got a couple of little places that need repair. Right here, this mesh will come back together and be put back together. I'll replace that whole top piece, but that's how this dimension right here is actually maintained. Those pieces there will be stripped down and cleaned. I don't want to strip them now because those stainless bands that are right there are actually safer installed. If you take them off, they're pretty delicate. And that's not a big job to take that apart. So I'll wait probably until way after we get the rest of the interior installed. It's one of the last things I did on that car was to put those shells on. In fact, I was missing those shells. I had to find them one at a time on eBay, and they were not cheap. I think I had to pay $100 a piece for them. And I think I paid for these outer shells here, those which, you know, when you're finished with the seat, those outer shells, that's what really finishes the look. Makes everything look great. This is fake here. This is actually done in a piece of fuel line, aluminum fuel line, because I couldn't find these stainless pieces here, and they're actually in really good shape on this car. So they'll go on, those will look really good. So the seats are stripped down. It made a huge mess in the shop. There's a whole bunch of old cotton here. We've had a couple of little fires. Let's see if I'm still burning up here. Yeah, still. Grinder plus cotton does not mix, so that's still burning in 2 places, so I gotta get that put out before I go to bed. We'll clean the shop up and finish inventorying all of our pieces. We did get most of that done though. That's everything bagged and tagged. On the inside, all these things are bagged and tagged, most of it. So all that's ready to go up on shelves or in totes and wait reassembly.